Hi there, and welcome back to Let's Learn English Through Stories. Today, we have an amazing story for you. It's about a girl who started writing songs in her bedroom and became one of the biggest music stars on the planet. Let me ask you this. How did Taylor Swift turn her teenage heartbreaks and simple country songs into a global empire? How did a shy girl with a guitar become a voice for millions, breaking records and winning more awards than most artists dream of? Was it just luck, or talent, or something else? Taylor Swift is not just a singer. She's a storyteller, a businesswoman, a fashion icon, and a symbol of what it means to follow your dreams, even when the world says no. She was once a 12-year-old girl growing up in a small town in Pennsylvania. She didn't fit in. She liked to write poetry and play guitar. She listened to country music when most kids were listening to pop. People laughed at her dreams. But Taylor didn't stop. She kept writing, she kept singing, she kept believing, and today, she fills stadiums. She moves millions of fans. She even made history by becoming the first artist to hold the entire top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100. But the road wasn't easy. She had to fight for her music, her name, and her freedom. She faced rejection, betrayal, and public criticism. And yet, she kept growing. So what is her secret? What made Taylor Swift different from others? By the end of this video, you'll know. Because Taylor's story is more than just a music career. It's a lesson in courage, creativity, and standing up for yourself. So grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's explore the life of the girl who turned pain into poetry and poetry into power. Stay with us and don't forget. At the end of this story, we'll reveal the true key to Taylor Swift's incredible journey. Taylor Allison Swift was born on December 13, 1989, in Reading, Pennsylvania, USA. She grew up on a Christmas tree farm with her parents, Scott and Andrea, and her younger brother, Austin. From a young age, Taylor was full of energy and creativity. She loved writing poems and telling stories, and soon she found another passion: music. When Taylor was just 10 years old, she began performing at local fairs, events, and karaoke contests. She listened to country music stars like Shania Twain and Faith Hill. She liked how they told stories in their songs. That inspired her. At 12, Taylor learned to play the guitar. One of the first songs she wrote was called Lucky You. Her parents saw her talent and believed in her. They even drove her to Nashville, Tennessee, the heart of country music, to give out her demo CDs to record labels. She was very young, but she was determined. People in the music industry said, "She's too young." Others said, "She won't make it." But Taylor didn't give up. At age 14, her family moved to Nashville to support her dream. She soon signed with a small label called Big Machine Records. Then, in 2006, something amazing happened. Taylor released her first album called Taylor Swift. It was full of songs she wrote herself. One of them, Tim McGraw, became a big hit. Fans loved her honest lyrics and sweet voice. Taylor was only 16 years old, but she was already becoming famous. Her second album, Fearless, came out in 2008. It was a huge success. Songs like Love Story and You Belong With Me were played everywhere. She won 4 Grammy Awards, including Album of the Year, the youngest person to ever win that award. Taylor's style was changing. She started as a country singer, but she added more pop sounds in each album. With Speak Now and Red, she showed that she could write powerful lyrics about love, heartbreak, and growing up. Fans felt connected to her because her songs were about real emotions and personal experiences. But with fame came challenges. The media watched her every move. People joked about her relationships. Some called her too dramatic or too emotional. It wasn't always fair. Taylor often felt misunderstood, but instead of hiding, she used the pain to create more music. In 2014, Taylor made a bold move. She released her first full pop album, 1989. It was different, and it was brilliant. With hits like Shake It Off and Blank Space, she became a global pop icon. The album won 3 Grammy Awards and sold millions of copies. Still, life behind the scenes wasn't always easy. Taylor had public arguments with other celebrities, faced online hate, and even lost the rights to her old songs when her record label was sold. But again, Taylor didn't give up. She took control of her music and started re-recording her old albums, something no artist had really done before. These Taylor's versions became huge hits. Fans loved that she was taking back her voice. Taylor also used her platform to speak up. She became more vocal about women's rights, artists' rights, and political issues. She wanted to help others, not just sing to them. Over the years, she released more successful albums: Reputation, Lover, Folklore, Evermore, Midnights, each one with its own style and message. Especially during the pandemic, her surprise albums Folklore and Evermore showed a deeper, softer side of her storytelling. They won her even more praise, including her 3rd Album of the Year Grammy. In 2023 and 2024, Taylor began her Eras Tour, a journey through all the stages of her career. The tour broke records, ticket sales, film box office, merchandise, everything. She became not just a singer, but a brand, a movement. People from all over the world, from different ages and cultures, connect with her music. Taylor's songs are more than entertainment. They are like letters, diaries, and open hearts. Today, Taylor Swift is one of the most powerful women in the world. She writes her own songs, controls her business, and continues to grow. She shows the world that you can be strong and sensitive, smart and creative, successful and kind, all at the same time. Her story is not just about fame. It's about believing in yourself, working hard, and staying true to your voice. The secrets behind the music, lesser-known moments, and a powerful truth. Many people know Taylor Swift as a superstar, glamorous, confident, always shining on stage, but few know the quiet, determined person behind the spotlight. When Taylor was a teenager, she didn't just hope for fame. She worked for it with a focus most adults don't have. Every day after school, she would write songs in her notebook, play guitar until her fingers hurt, and study how famous artists built their careers. She wasn't just dreaming. She was building. Here's something you may not know. Taylor once performed for just a handful of people in an empty cafe. She didn't care if there were 5 people or 50,000. For her, every performance was a chance to connect. Even now, when she fills stadiums, she remembers that feeling, the desire to reach one heart at a time. Taylor also faced many private struggles that the public didn't see. There were times she was told she was too emotional, too ambitious or too controlling. But instead of letting those words hurt her, she turned them into power. The song "The Man" from her album Lover is a strong answer to those who questioned her leadership. It asks, if she were a man, would people still judge her the same way? One of her most powerful moments came when she stood up to the people who owned her first 6 albums. When her old record label was sold, she lost control of her music. But she didn't cry in public. She made a plan. Taylor decided to re-record every album, note by note, so that she would own her art again. That decision shocked the music industry and inspired millions of artists around the world. It wasn't easy. She had to recreate entire albums from memory and emotion, working late nights and early mornings. But the results? Incredible. Fearless, Taylor's version, and Red, Taylor's version, topped the charts and brought her even closer to her fans. She turned loss into leadership. Here's another beautiful detail. Taylor often connects with fans in deeply personal ways. She's written handwritten letters, sent surprise gifts, and even invited fans to her home for private listening parties. She listens, replies, and remembers people. She once said, "If you show up for me, I'll show up for you." And she does. Taylor also grew as a human. She started speaking out for others, not just herself. She talked about mental health, equality, and the importance of voting. She once kept silent about political issues, but later said, "I realized that silence can also be a voice, and sometimes that silence helps the wrong people." Now let's return to the question we asked at the beginning of this story. How did a girl writing songs in her bedroom become one of the most powerful women in the world? It wasn't just her talent, although she has plenty. It wasn't just her success, though she broke records over and over again. It was her truth. Taylor Swift never tried to become someone else to please the world. Instead, she let the world come to her. She shared her heartbreaks, her doubts, her growth, her mistakes, and she made those emotions feel beautiful and meaningful. She understood something many people forget, that vulnerability is not weakness. It is strength, real strength, the kind that invites people in. And that's why her songs matter. That's why her voice carries so far. Because in every lyric, there's honesty. In every beat, there's bravery. Taylor's story teaches us that success is not about perfection. It's about authenticity. It's about building a life, step by step, from your own truth. So, if you've ever felt too quiet, too sensitive, or too different, remember this. The girl who used to write songs in the corner of her room became a global symbol of creativity, strength, and grace. And if she could do that, maybe, just maybe, so can you. Thank you for watching this episode of Let's Learn English Through Stories. If Taylor's story moved you, please leave a comment below and tell us how it inspired you. Or share your favorite Taylor Swift moment or lyric. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs a little light today. And always remember, your voice matters, your story matters, just like Taylor's. See you next time.